There is a quiet kind of aching that settles into the soul when you have been waiting for someone who has not yet arrived. It is not always a loud pain, not always something you can name when a friend asks how you are doing. Sometimes it shows up late at night when the house is still and your thoughts begin to wander. Sometimes it finds you in the middle of a celebration, surrounded by people who love you, and yet there is a chair in your heart that remains empty. I am not here to tell you that feeling is wrong. I am not here to rush you past it, or pretend that faith erases longing. Because the truth is, God gave you the capacity to desire connection for a reason. That yearning you carry is not weakness. It is evidence that you were made for something more than isolation. So if you have been praying for a soulmate, if you have been asking God to bring the right person into your life, I want you to know that He has heard every single prayer. Not one tear has gone unnoticed. And what I feel led to share with you today is not a promise of dates or timelines, because I cannot give you that, and I will not pretend otherwise. But I can offer you something that I believe may settle your spirit and renew your perspective. Your soulmate is not in some distant land waiting for a miracle to bring them to your doorstep. They are not locked away behind circumstances too great for God to move. They are around. They are walking, breathing, living their life, investing in their purpose, growing through their own seasons of preparation. And what separates this moment from the moment of connection is not distance alone. It is divine timing. It is readiness. It is the invisible work that God is doing in both of your hearts to ensure that when you meet, you are both equipped for the kind of relationship that can last. I think sometimes we imagine that our soulmate is frozen somewhere, waiting for us to become good enough, as if they are paused until we reach some spiritual finish line. But that is not how God works. He is multitasking in ways we cannot comprehend. He is shaping you in your journey while shaping them in theirs. And the beauty of this is that you are not behind schedule. Neither are they. You are both exactly where you need to be. Let me take you to a story in the book of Ruth, because I believe there is something deeply instructive in how God brought two people together who were not looking for each other. Boaz was a man of integrity, a landowner who had built something meaningful with his life. On the day Ruth entered his field, he was not scanning the horizon for a wife. He was not obsessing over his singleness or questioning why God had not yet provided. He was overseeing his harvest, engaging with his servants, living his life fully present in his calling. And Ruth, a widow carrying the weight of loss and uncertainty, was not there looking for love either. She was there because she needed to survive. She was gleaning leftover grain because she and her mother-in-law Naomi had nothing else. Her posture was one of humility, not ambition. She was not strategizing her way into a relationship. She was simply being faithful in the moment she was given. And yet God orchestrated their paths to cross, not through manipulation, not through force, but through the quiet convergence of two people who were doing what was right where they were. There is something deeply comforting in this, because it means you do not have to become someone you are not in order to attract the right person. You do not have to perform or present a version of yourself that is polished beyond recognition. What God asks of you is faithfulness. What He asks is that you invest in your purpose, cultivate your character, and trust Him with the parts of your story you cannot control. And here is something else I want you to consider. Soulmates are not always what we expect them to be. When we hear the word soulmate, our minds often go straight to romance. We think of wedding days and shared homes and growing old with someone who knows our middle name and our deepest fears. And yes, God does bring romantic soulmates into people's lives. But He also brings soulmates in other forms. Think about David and Jonathan. In the book of 1 Samuel, we are told that the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David. That word, knit, carries such intimacy. It suggests something woven together, something that cannot be easily undone. And their relationship was not romantic. It was a friendship that transcended politics, family loyalty, and personal ambition. Jonathan loved David so deeply that he risked his own inheritance to protect him. And David mourned Jonathan's death with a grief so profound it is still echoed in Scripture thousands of years later. What does this tell us? It tells us that soulmates come in many forms. Perhaps God is preparing a business partner for you who will help you build the vision He placed in your heart. Perhaps He is positioning a mentor who will speak into your life with wisdom you desperately need. Perhaps there is a friend on the way who will understand your struggles without you having to explain every detail. Do not limit what God is doing by confining it to one category. Stay open to the various ways He may send alignment into your life. And when that person arrives, whether they are a romantic partner, a collaborator, or a covenant friend, you will know them by the peace you feel in their presence. Not just excitement, not just attraction, but peace. A sense that this is right. A quiet knowing that God has been working behind the scenes. Now I want to speak to something that many people struggle with, and I am going to speak gently because I know this is tender. Some of you have been waiting so long that you have started to wonder if you are the problem. You have analyzed your flaws, questioned your worthiness, and convinced yourself that if you were just better, smarter, more spiritual, more attractive, then surely God would have sent someone by now. And I need you to hear me clearly. Your singleness is not a punishment. It is not a reflection of your inadequacy. It is not God withholding good things because you have not earned them yet. That is not how grace works. You are not in a waiting room because you failed some test. You are in a season of preparation because God is intentional. He does not rush what He is building. And what He is building in you is a person who can receive love without losing themselves in it. A person who can offer love without using it as a way to fill internal voids. A person who has done the inner work, who has confronted their wounds, who has allowed the Holy Spirit to reshape broken patterns. That is what this season is for. Not delay, preparation. And I want you to also understand something about how God works when He brings two people together. He creates what I like to call a divine pause. In the story of Ruth, Boaz did not just see Ruth as another laborer in his field. Something made him pause. Something made him ask his servant, "Who is that woman?" There were likely dozens of people gleaning in his field that day, but his eyes landed on her. Not because she was putting on a performance, not because she was trying to be noticed, but because God directed his attention. That is not something you can manufacture. You cannot force the right person to notice you through strategy or manipulation. But you can trust that when the time is right, God will create that pause. He will make you visible to the one who is meant to see you. And when that happens, it will feel seamless. It will feel natural, not rushed or chaotic or confusing, just right. I want to encourage you with something practical. While you are waiting, live your life fully. Do not shrink yourself. Do not put your goals on hold because you are waiting for someone to share them with. Pursue your calling. Develop your gifts. Build your discipline. Read the books that shape your thinking. Have the hard conversations with God about your wounds and fears. Create a life that you are genuinely proud of, not to attract someone, but because you deserve to experience the fullness of who God made you to be. And here is what is beautiful about this. The more you invest in your purpose, the more likely you are to encounter someone who shares your values. Because purpose attracts purpose. Vision attracts vision. When Boaz noticed Ruth, one of the first things that caught his attention was her diligence. He had heard about her faithfulness to Naomi. He saw her character in action before he ever spoke a word to her. What you are cultivating right now is being observed, even when you think no one is watching. Your character speaks before your words ever do. So continue becoming, continue growing, Continue trusting that God is weaving something together that you cannot yet see. And for those of you who have been hurt before, who have trusted the wrong person, who have opened your heart only to have it mishandled, I see you. I know that waiting is hard, but waiting after betrayal is harder. Because now the waiting is accompanied by fear. What if I choose wrong again? What if I cannot trust my own judgment? What if I let someone in and they leave? Those are real fears, and I am not going to dismiss them by telling you to simply have more faith. But what I will say is this: God is not asking you to trust blindly. He is asking you to trust Him specifically. There is a difference between trusting everyone who comes into your life and trusting the God who holds your life in His hands. You can maintain discernment and still have hope. You can protect your heart and still remain open to love. Those things are not mutually exclusive. Ask God for wisdom. Ask Him for clarity. Ask Him to sharpen your ability to recognize red flags and to help you distinguish between someone who is truly aligned with your life and someone who merely looks the part. God gives wisdom generously to those who ask for it. That is a promise straight from His Word. So ask, and trust that He will guide you. I also want to remind you that this journey is not a race. I know it can feel like everyone around you is pairing off, getting married, starting families, moving into seasons you desperately want to experience. And comparison has a way of making your waiting feel unbearable. But your story is not their story. Your timeline is not their timeline. The person God is aligning you with may be on a completely different path that requires a different kind of timing. And rushing the process would only cheat both of you out of something beautiful. So breathe. Take the pressure off yourself. You are not behind. If you are here today, and you needed to hear that God has not forgotten you, then let this be your confirmation. He sees you. He knows you. He is working even when it feels silent. And the soulmate He is preparing, whether romantic, professional, or spiritual, is being shaped right now with you in mind. Not as an afterthought, not as a backup plan, but as a divine appointment that will unfold when both of you are ready. I want to close with this encouragement. Stay faithful, not because faithfulness earns you a reward, but because faithfulness is who you are becoming. Stay diligent, not to prove your worth, but to honor the gifts God has placed inside you. Stay hopeful, not in a wishful thinking kind of way, but in a confident expectation that God finishes what He starts. And when the time comes, when that divine pause happens and the right person sees you, it will be worth the wait. Not because the waiting was easy, but because what God builds lasts. If this message has spoken to something deep in your heart today, I would love for you to be part of this community. Consider subscribing to the Angels Decode channel if you have not already. Your presence here matters, your story matters, and this is a place where you can always find encouragement grounded in faith. Leave a word in the comments if you feel led to. Share this with someone who may be walking through their own season of waiting. And know that I am grateful you were here today. God bless you. Walk in peace, and trust that what is coming is far greater than what has passed.